Hello everyone and welcome back. Yes, this is the final game of stage number 2. The final game, the final opportunity for these squads, specifically CrazyCrew and Hakkapeliittas, to put it all on the line here to come out with a major performance, which hopefully sees one or both of them advance into the top 9. But other teams in the top 9 already are going to be trying to do whatever they can here in this match to prevent that. I would expect to possibly see a little bit of craziness here throughout this game. Some teams very much so secured, possibly trying to dictate who they face off against inside of the PELC for 2020. There's been a lot of talk as to what happens in these final games when you have teams that are secured like Fight Club, like the ADR Farmers, like Istanbul Wildcats. You know, obviously, the type of success that these squads have found, the powerfulness that these squads have displayed, it goes hand in hand with the fact that they have the most points here in the lobby. But they also have nothing to lose. They can play a little bit more loose. They can play a little bit more true to their play styles, which is kind of scary, going up against Fight Club and the ADR Farmers, two teams that are incredibly aggressive. And again, not to beat a dead horse and sound incredibly repetitive, but successfully aggressive. It's really not something that you see true to many PUBG teams to display consistently. You know, certainly some teams can have bits of aggressiveness that end up paying off for them. Sometimes, though, it doesn't work out in their favor. I think for the most part, ADR Farmers and Fight Club have found success, which is evident by what you are looking at right now. Our players, though, are loading in to game number 4. I can hear the footsteps. I'm sure you can hear the footsteps as well as we... Oh no, soar across the map. The plane is in the air. And let's get it going. The final round of the day, the final round of the tournament. Back on Erangel. No other place that we would rather end it on. Plane path going to be a little bit different this time from the southern side of the map. Favored on the western, rather the southern corner of the map. Favored on the western side. We'll be heading up there towards Severny. A little bit off towards the west. And not too bad of a position. Again, the eastern side, or rather the northeastern side, pretty unpopulated as far as teams that like to go in that direction. But this plane path will definitely be having an impact on at least some of these squads and where they want to go. Milta Power going to be very, very far away. That's a drop and a vehicle transition to get over to that loot spot. Lipovka as well. Yasnaya even becomes a bit of a stretch from this area of the map. We're going to see, I believe, one other team entering in the fray here, joining Boris for the Severny drop spot all the way to the north. It's CrazyCrew, and that were displaced off their eastern drop and won't be able to find at least the primary loot location. Oh, okay. Waiting for that phase 1 circle to pop here in just about a few seconds time. 1 minute and 30 seconds is exactly the time it does pop, and there it goes. A northwestern circle is what we're going to be looking at here to start off this match. It's not going to be that military island back to back from the previous game. No, we're going to be going up to the complete opposite side of the map, and we've got the river leading out of Yasnaya that's going to be causing a bit of issues for some teams. Here we've got about, I want to call it maybe a 40-60 split. A significant amount of water on the northern side as well. But teams will have to hedge those bets. Will have to decide where they go. Do they go north of the river? Do they go south of the river and risk being adjusted, or rather shifted on in the opposite direction? This is why we draw so much importance to some of the compounds that are peppered alongside that river that leads from east to west out of Yasnaya. The cube compound being one of the more significant priority spots. We'll see if any teams move into there, but let's first take a look at what's happening inside of Razak with the members of the Preachers. Intruders have moved into this slowly but surely. I believe they were possibly pushed off of this drop by the presence of Preachers and ended up landing, many of them up towards the north of Razak, that northern plateau where the warehouse sits, and one, Mkaelovich, going to be down to the south. But this is going to be a fight that the Intruders are looking to take here. Just to put this into perspective for you guys, Preachers are the team that sit in 9th place position, the team that is on the cusp of falling outside of qualification. This fight has massive, massive implications. The Intruders currently sitting in 12th place position, pretty far outside of being able to find qualification here in the final game, unless they put up a massive... What will they need here? They'll need about a... what is that? At least a 20-plus point game to be able to possibly find themselves in those top 9. But this is the way to do it. You've got to find those early game kills. Playing off at the late game is not going to play in favor of you likely coming up with those massive kill counts. Istanbul Wildcats going to be spotted out, at least one of their members, Hakkapeliittas, one of the deadlier members, at least so far on the day for this squad, will be knocked down and flushed out subsequently by Flamyy with the Vector. And there it is. Kill going to be confirmed here. First one of the day, of the game rather, for ADR farmers. Back to the fight here in Rozhok. You've seen the Preachers really adjust off of this. This was something that they have not felt the entirety of the stage. They've never been dropped upon. You know, I'm not going to... It was a hot drop, yes, but it wasn't necessarily an incredibly aggressive hot drop. It was basically just two teams sharing Rozhok, finding guns, and then pushing into each other pretty slowly. It stalled off a little bit. Diego going to be caught off and separated from the other two teammates of the Preachers. Is not in a good position. I mean, Preachers, they've got to maintain consistency here. They can't have a bad game, but they don't necessarily need an epic game. They just kind of need something in the middle, that Goldilocks prophecy, or paradox rather, to be played out. Over here in South Georgia Pole, the members of Brute Force will be starting to put this rotation into effect. HalloSenpai rolling through with the US with 4 minutes on the clock before the blue zone shifts us into phase number 2. Istanbul Wildcats, though, pushing up onto the ruins where they lost one member, Hakkapeliittas, just a few seconds ago. We'll be trying to find a little bit of revenge, but all they find is another casualty as Laza is going to be flushed out of the game. Myca with the AKM headshot is able to execute on that engagement. Rewop rolling up here to a nice crate. This is going to be a significant early game pickup here for Guess Who, and AWM is certainly a very welcome surprise inside of these beautiful crates, as well as that level 3 kit. Shots come out. Legendary putting out a little bit of pressure right now as they try to disengage off of Rozhok, but unfortunately have crossed the paths of yet another team that likes this area. It's Tony team, the team that drops in school and apartments, is going to be taking a similar rotation path. And based off of how few northern circles we've really gotten throughout this tournament, they haven't been able to get a good lock on what rotations Tony team likes to take from a very similar position to Rozhok. Here we've got teams, though, trying to... What? Like, those pilots have been pushed off all the way down to Sosnovka Island. Now, I hope you guys remember, the first circle of the game is all the way to the northwest. Lipsin is going to have an incredibly tough rotation ahead of them, and likely will have to switch out multiple vehicles or have a jerry can or something to be able to keep them alive. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy for those pilots here. HaKoHe going to be suffering a casualty earlier on. This has been an incredibly scrappy game all around the map. No team has really been exempt from any of this scrappiness for the most part. Istanbul Wildcats trying to stay alive here. Really, you know, here's the thing. Istanbul Wildcats, they've had such a stellar performance throughout the first 3 and 3.75 days that this is okay, right? This happens. They can at least exit out of this game pretty confident that they'll be able to walk into PELC of 2020. They've got one member alive, so not going to be out of it just yet, continuing to maintain at least a placement position here in this match. Solo player of Istanbul Wildcats still inside of this compound where the Hakkapeliittas have infiltrated. Some nades come out. Genzo going to be trying to bait something out. Spots out the members of Hakkapeliittas coming in and will be flushed out. Istanbul Wildcats, I believe your team currently sitting in 3rd place position coming into this game, will be eliminated in 16th place. 15 teams going to be remaining. The Preachers have been able to stay alive with at least a few members as they try to exit out of Rozhok. Other teams going to be starting to pop off on one another here as perfectgod from Boris spots out the members of CrazyCrew. Taking a peek around the left-hand side of the tree, not spotting any of the heads yet of those CrazyCrew members. They're playing this pretty pretty tight inside of the compound, not taking aggressive peeks that they don't necessarily have to at this stage in the game. But as they don't take these peeks, they've opened up a little bit of movement for the members of Boris. Oh, this could be huge. Nade's coming out right in front. Oh, that second one was so close. Was so close. Had it been cooked just a little bit longer, Suppy might have been blown up. And that would have been an epic moment here, of which we've had many. Shout out, guys, big time to our PEL observers over there, because they have caught some pretty cinematic kill moments, exploding moments, just the moments that you like to see here in competitive PUBG. Infection going to be dropped down. The VSS comes in huge for Flamyy, who finds another knock on to Ruin. That's 2 out for Royalty, who will likely be flushed. Unless Jesse up the hillside can say anything about it. Spots out the knocked player. The smokes come out to try to at least provide an opportunity to get a res, but ADR is swarming up the hillside to try to find Jesse. And yes, they're sure enough able to find it. Out goes Royalty, our second squad to be eliminated here for the final game of the tournament. ADR Farmers pick up a nice set of kills in the process and continue to put out a dominant lead on this lobby. The ADR Farmers coming into this match, they're about, 29 points behind Fight Club. So it's really just going to be trying to put up as many points as possible. If they can come up with a 29-point game, that is, if the members of ADR Farmers are able to do that, it would be it would be another epic moment on the laundry list of epic moments that we have been able to accumulate over these 8 days. Boris still going to be collapsing around this compound that's held by CrazyCrew's members. STaravillo, the rest of the crew, Pluto, going to be suffering a knock though on top of Algae, and this forces a aggressive crash now into the compound to try to take control of this with the numbers advantage. However, it came out a little bit too late. Algae was able to be rezzed and has an opportunity to recover off of that HP. Nades start to fly. Pluto going to be heavily pinned down and significantly tagged down as well. Sees them prone inside. Will be able to get a bit of a spray through the window and find the connection. Extends, able to find yet another CrazyCrew member and take them down. Extends, does get a flush onto Pluto. Won't be able to find it. Gets traded out as Algae pushes into the room and flushes out that threat coming in from Boris. However, still going to be 3 to deal with inside of this compound, where 2 members of CrazyCrew remain, 1 inside of each building. One on the second story here, where perfectgod is trying to maneuver himself around this engagement. It gets a little bit trickier now as you start to breach up onto the second story. It's quite the fatal funnel that these teams will have to work through to get up the stairs. And STaravillo isn't even going to be holding it. He allows the push up the stairs, hears the footsteps, and immediately snaps into position to get ready. Nade going to be trying to bait out the presence from the side room. STaravillo not going to be inside of there, so Boris won't be finding anything because of it. Still going to be holding strong around the outside of the compound will be Mkaelovich. And now going to be caught out. Sando finds STaravillo inside of the cubby with a spray down, is able to eliminate the 3rd player of this CrazyCrew squad. 1 going to be left. It's Algae, tries to take a peek around the right-hand side of the compound. It gets spotted out once again. Mkaelovich spots out and drops down. 1 more kill over towards his team. Popping over to the crates area of the map, Fight Club has found themselves heavily engaged with the likes of HaKoHe. A double knock comes out. Gifted will be bleeding out. Nade comes in thereafter, knocks down ZorF in the process, and leaves 2 alive, currently on their feet to contest this. And again, guys, just to put a little bit of emphasis on what just happened there, CrazyCrew, our team that was 2 points behind, 2 points outside of that 9th place qualification spot coming into this game, has been eliminated. They were, I believe, able to pick up maybe 1 kill in the process, but will be reaping 0 placement points off of that and likely will not be able to push. The question still remains, though, what are Hakkapeliittas? What are the Intruders going to be able to do? Oh, yes, Hakkapeliittas is not going to be able to do anything here. Fight Club has been able to recover off of that. At least 1 res comes in onto Gifted. Circle not able to make his way over to ZorF just yet, but likely will try to push out here in the final moments of that bleed out timer. And Gifted who was once knocked right next to his fallen teammate, will be able to put into effect that res. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough right now for any of the teams in those 11th through 16th place positions to put up those points here in this game. You know, it's not out of the realm of possibilities for Intruders. I wouldn't say that just yet. A lot of squads still going to be having 4 alive. Those pilots remain alive with 1 player. That was that 1 player, Lipsin, I believe, that we saw rotate all the way down. This is Novka Island. Try to wrap over to the east and then come up to the north. Magebane, you know, I love this guy. I love this player. This player has shown us just fun moments every time we check into them, whether it be flying through in the back seat, the death seat of the buggy on their knees, spraying and praying, trying to close out a game, or whether it be just unloading 12-gauge shotgun shells into the ceiling. The crates continue to be a hotbed for destruction. Moleman, Celis, the rest of Stellar will be rolling in off the western flank, trying to find connections. They find one, however, will be traded quickly back out. Moleman gets dropped down by Circle, a Fight Club, and will be flushed. Anstron says Magebane is straight savage. I agree. I definitely agree. It's going to be exciting to likely watch the members of ReWAP and the PELC Phase 1 of 2020. I think they might have done enough here inside of this game to secure that for themselves. But I don't want to be putting out any spoilers. We'll let the final leaderboards dictate that, my friends. Guys, which seats are going to be promoted into contenders? Shameless, it is the top 9 coming out of this lobby. So the top 9 out of 16 at the end of this game. This is the final game, the 16th match of stage number 2. Those 9 teams get to move on to the PELC for their chance to compete through that phase, to possibly even find themselves moving up into the arena in Berlin, Germany, which is, again, that's the goal, guys. That is what all of these teams are here trying to work their way towards. But it is a marathon. It's not going to be easy. Mental stamina going to come into play over several months to be able to put that in. Next shift comes out. It's going to be going north of the river, forcing a few teams to have to make that cross. Intruders able to find a knock onto Sando of Boris, who did push down around that southeastern edge of phase number 4, trying to ride in off of that previous edge of phase number 3 they had been holding. A quick flush does come out. Secures another kill over for the Intruders as... here they are, Hakkapeliittas. Here they are. They are going to be working their way in as well. Stellar gets eliminated. Celis gets wiped out of the game. So Hakkapeliittas is still going to be in this, guys. I mean, they're in 10th place position. I believe they were trailing sort of significantly, if I'm not mistaken. However, a big game is all that is needed. That is all that is going to be needed here. Yeah, all the teams that want to go... Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I think that's a big goal for these squads, to be able to go and compete at LAN. That's huge. That's a dream for any esports player, to be sure. Fight Club going to be rolling in here off of the flank of where Levels Plasm was previously holding, a little bit separate and off from their teammates. We'll be trying to pull off in the Dacia. It's moving slow. Possibly a tire has been popped as well. Some damage being applied to the person with 50 HP and a smoking Dacia. Is able to find a little bit of cover here inside of the garage with their teammate. Oh, need to be careful. Need to be careful. Plasm is going to be good to go. Level survives after possibly facing off against an engagement that saw them going out pretty quickly. What team is in 10th and 11th place? Well, let me just tell you what team's in 10th and 11th place. You can go on over to the PUBGesports.eu website, click on standings, schedule and standings, whatever the tab is. And then you can find the entirety of the leaderboards for this lobby. You can also go back and you can find the stats and standings from the previous days of play. Again, guys, if you haven't already, make sure to head on over to the PUBGesports.eu website. It's really your central hub for all things PEL Contenders. You get a lot of information, whether it be stats of individuals, stats of teams, VODs, highlights, news stories, etc. There's a lot there to be picked apart to supplement that PUBG experience. HaKoHe going to be under fire right now as Intruders pop off from the north. Nailcomp is able to find that shot. Fight Club quickly going to be going down as well. Our first place team has been eliminated and 10th place position. Boris going to be going out quickly thereafter in 9th place as the Preachers push on. They've been able to disengage off of that nasty Rozhok position where they were hot dropped by the Intruders earlier on, and now have been able to at least find a way inside of the southeastern edge of phase number 4. Watch Mage Main getting the last kill with the SG. Hakkapeliittas, our team that is sitting in the 11th place position right now, one of our last teams in contention of trying to claw into these top 9 positions, will be facing off against casualties. Nades being flung down the hillside from Tony team's Blacklit will be ringing true. Pay Dirt has been hit, and kill points will be stacked up in the pockets of that squad. So yes, guys, now more than ever, make sure to spam those emotes, spam that team support for whatever squad you're rooting for here in the final 10 minutes or so of this Erangel game. Intruders still going to be facing off against the HaKoHe squad. VladKot, a solo player, pinched in between Intruders and Preachers down to the southeast. Tony team will have to move in towards the south to get into the northern side of this next phase, but also will be moving parallel to the likes of Hakkapeliittas, who they had previously been engaged on. HaKoHe, with a few shots coming in from Mkaelovich's SLR, a headshot connecting, will be wiping out that squad from the map. Top 7 going to be secured here. And Rewop, guess who, with the AWM headshot. AWM was picked up at the very early stages of this game, and it comes into massive effect here as the Intruders get tagged down. And that beautiful, that ominous sound of the does ring throughout the map. I don't know, chat, I'm going to ask you a question. What do you think is the more intimidating sound? A suppressed or a non-suppressed I think suppressed personally, I think suppressed Continuing on, Brute Force. HalloSenpai still going to be employing that VSS. We saw them pick up a few kills from it a few minutes ago and are going to be trying to get even more here. You know, it's I like the gun. I like the gun. It doesn't have a massive place in competitive. However, we are seeing that be put to shame here right now. Shots being traded back between both of these squads. Hawk and HalloSenpai will be dropped down for the members of Brute Force, but they were able to find a quick trade. Mackenzie and AmerouuS trying to do whatever they can to stay alive here. Let's see. I see suppressed, non-suppressed, definitely suppressed. Suppressed because when you hear it, it means there's an active too close to you. Hey, agreed. Non-suppressed. There we go. So a mixed opinion in the chat. Thank you guys for participating. AmerouuS, SLR, going to be popping off some shots over there. He's able to find good connections. Preachers, unfortunately, going to be suffering massive casualties, and out goes Hakkapeliittas as Tony Team Sabin flanks around the side and is able to find the tag down onto both Martin and Patrick. With enough time to pick up their fallen teammate as well, it's likely that the Tony team will continue forward with 3 members alive. Preacher's going to be having, I believe, well, it's just going to be 1 now, as Diego does get knocked out and flushed. Legendary going to be making a massive play here, or at least trying to do so to spot out these members of Level. The smoke concealment going to be masking the position of Level on the hillside. Tag down from the backside. Legendary is going to be going out of the game, as well as the entirety of the Preachers. Rekorder from the Intruders end up closing that one out. They started, at least the wound, they inflicted the wound that ended up being the death of the Preacher squad here in game number 4. 4 teams remain, 13 players going to be alive. Yo, Michael, there is a delay. The delay is on the feed being provided to me. So there's no delay on the broadcast that I'm giving, but the game is actually played on a delay. Come on, Michael. But shout out to all of our PEL guys that are in here in chat. We've seen a ton of support from you guys to come watch some of the competitors that you could possibly be facing off against in phase number 2 of the PEL. So shout out to TSM, shout out to DA, shout out to ENS and all of the other squads that have come in here to show some support for some of these players trying to rank up through the competitive brackets. Final 4 teams at a pretty early stage of the game does create a lot of room for these squads to work off of. Even though they do have room, though, it's not going to stop them from taking these mid-range distance shots, I guess, at this stage of the game. A few squads going to be separated off throughout this circle. Some on the east, some on the west. Really level and Tony team who are going to be clashing here on the west before they even have to worry about Rewap or the Intruders. Entrance. So I'm not production. I'm just the caster, but I do wholeheartedly agree on that. There it is. Rewap rather is able to find the tag down onto Save, and out goes the Tony team in 4th place position. Nice mini 14 headshot will be ringing true for Rewap, who are looking like at least they're going to be trying to close out this game here in another 1st place finish. It would be a huge one for this squad. A back-to-back finish, definitely going to be solidifying at least that momentum that they can take into the new year. Hey, shout out to Squeaky as well. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Hope things are going well in your off season. Guess who still has that AWM in full effect? Going to be looking off from the second story of the garage compound. But again, as we only have 3 teams remaining, and what is only phase 6 now shifting into phase 7, it's an ample amount of room for these squads to really hang back and try to wait for things to fall into their favor. No need to play this aggressively. Again, it's pretty much just for pride at this stage of the game as far as who walks away with the chicken dinner. In this bit of a stall in between the engagements. So push coming in from Iffy before we get into that. No, not going to be too much of a push. Just a forward advancement to the next bit of tree cover. But guys, make sure that if you love PUBG, if you love PEL, well, tomorrow the PEL promos are going to be kicking off October 17th through the 20th, 4 days with 5 games per day live from the arena in Berlin, Germany. It's going to be an excellent event, guys. So make sure to check that out and see what teams are going to be able to maintain their positions in the PEL, what teams from the contenders are going to be moving up into the PEL for the first phase of 2020. Similar tournament like this, but with even more on the line for some of these squads. Nailcop, the Intruders, still going to be putting out a significant amount of pressure down here from the southeastern side of phase number 7. Michael, no, there's no bonus for getting first place here in this tournament other than pretty much just establishing dominance over 8 of the other teams that you're going to be competing against in the first phase of next year. So, I mean, I think there's definitely a lot that you can kind of attribute to that first place spot. Pride, team pride, everything like that. But as far as this tournament, the real gain is just getting that opportunity to move in to the PELC for 2020. Shots continue to come out. Rekorder's got a good pin down location onto the members of Rewap, who still are going to be sitting fairly strong on the northern side of the circle, almost forcing an engagement to pop off in between Level and Intruders down here to the south. Shots come in. I believe that's Mage Power off in the slight flank. Going to be pounding some shots in this direction. Rekorder throwing some back towards those guys. I mean, based off of the fact that Rewap still has vehicle cover to maneuver around, they've still got at least some good numbers. They've got some powerful guns in their arsenal as well. And there's the AWM for Guess Who. Once again, being put on beautiful display. Plasm goes down and out. The head going to be completely snapped off of that player by that 300 Magnum shot. Magebane finds another connection. Mkaelovich does get knocked down as well on this little bit of a slope. So again, this is just Rewap whittling down their opponents. They sit out in an exposed position that would have been hard for them to get to maybe a few minutes ago. But now that they're there, it becomes a pretty dominant position for them to just apply the pressure down to the southwest, down to the southeast, and likely come up with another back-to-back chicken dinner. So get loud in chat, guys. I know we got a lot of Rewap fans in the chat watching right now for Yuang, Magebane, Guess Who, and the rest of the squad. So make sure to throw it up for whoever you're rooting for here in the final few moments. If your team's not still playing, go ahead and throw those emotes out too, guys. It's been a hell of a tournament so far for all 16 teams. It was well fought. Some teams playing, I believe, 32 matches in total. as things continue to slowly progress towards the final 2 minutes of this match. Phase 8 is closing out. These teams have had since about phase number 6 to really maneuver this terrain and get a good read on how they want to play out the final few moments of this game, and this is what it's all going to come down to. Rekorder trying to hold both angles of the tree will be knocked down once again. A huge AWM shot from guess who? I mean, the boy don't quit is essentially what is going on here. Snaps the head off of another Intruder member. I believe the second knock coming out onto Mkaelovich, bleeding out extra fast, will be wiped out of the game. Intruders out in third place position. Now it's just going to be a 4v, I believe, 2 scenario, as they already have a knock onto the members of level, looking for the spray down around the left and the right hand side of the tree. A nade comes in and will be connecting. It's fine. Who has it? Plasm, however, with a trade back from the Mini 14 onto the members of Rewap. Will be knocking down guess who? The is currently disabled, but the other 3 members of Rewap looking strong enough to be able to close out the final match of the day. Push coming up. Yuang with a nice nade. Going to be soaring that direction before the nade explodes. His teammate is able to close it out. Fine. Coming in with the game-winning kill. The final match of this 16-game Stage 2 event for the PELC promos. It's going to be Rewap claiming the back-to-back chicken dinners to close it out. Big shout-out to Rewap and what you guys were able to do here today. It was amazing to watch it play out. We got the entertainment and we got the chicken dinners, so thank you for that. But also shout out to all of our other teams that were here to compete. Again, guys, this was not an easy tournament. I think we really saw that as we breached into the final 2 days. The first half of the tournament was interesting, right? We saw some shifts in performance coming in from Brute Force and a few other squads, but really didn't see things start to solidify until these final 2 days where teams ramped up what they had been putting out from previous days of play. Take a few replays, take some looks at how this game progressed. This is unfortunately the landscape of where CrazyCrew ended up going down. It was a pretty well-executed breach coming in from the members of Boris to wipe out that squad and kill their hopes of getting into the top 9 and moving on to the PELC for 2020. Guys, make sure that you stick around, though, through the end of the stream. We will be going through the leaderboards. We will be giving you a definitive answer on who those 9 teams rolling into 2020 as PELC teams are going to be. Stellar, a nice push here inside of the crates. 2 mini teams, though, ended up clashing at this area of the map, and it was just too tough to work off of. Fight Club, again, our first place team on the leaderboards, rolling into today with a massive lead as well. Took an early exit out of this game, but it was really because they had no pressure. It was it was just a game that they had to play out. Really, a game where they had an opportunity to pick up a few points, but really just a game that even if they got 0 points from this game, I think Fight Club was feeling pretty confident that they were not going to be surpassed by another squad. It would take a high 20-point game, I believe, is what we were looking at, a 29-point game. And of course, we gave a big shout out to all of the teams that were participating over the course of the last 8 days, both Stage 1 and Stage 2. But guys, I'm going to give a big shout out to all of you in chat who stuck with us through the entirety of this tournament. You guys, the fans of these teams and of PUBG Esports, are the reason why this stuff happens and why we put on these awesome shows. So thank you guys for always showing that support. It means a lot. Some of you, new faces, and I love to see it. Make sure that you guys also support these squads as they move forward into 2020. Both the teams that made it and the teams that are going to be working on the first half of 2020 to try to get back in this position to have another opportunity to advance into the PELC for the second phase of the new year. Here are your leaderboards, not the total leaderboards, ladies and gentlemen, but no, the match leaderboards coming off of this final game of Erangel. Sure, we see it all the way up to the top as expected. Rewap with 18 points. Let's fly through some of this and get to the beef of it because we all know what we're looking to see here. Kills, they're great. Good job to all you killers. But here they are, ladies and gentlemen, your top 9 teams that are going to be advancing on into the PELC for 2020. In first place position, Fight Club. Second place, ADR Farmers. Third place, the Istanbul Wildcats. Fourth place, Rewap. Fifth place, HaKoHe. Sixth place, Tony Team. Seventh place, Stellar. Eighth place, Brute Force. And then our final team to qualify for the PELC. Big congratulations over to you guys. Preachers with 83 points are going to be moving on into 2020 as PELC Phase 1 squads. So big congratulations to you top 9. As far as the bottom 7 are concerned. Guys, you fought hard. It was a very, very difficult tournament, but your skills and everything that you have honed to get to this point have not been eradicated because of this loss. Make sure to keep fighting, make sure to keep playing PUBG, and make sure to find your way into the PELC for phase number 2 next year. You're still going to have that chance. But a big congratulations once again to our 9 teams moving forward. It's been an absolute pleasure, guys, to commentate the last 4 days of PUBG for you all. If you haven't met me, if you haven't known me before, my name is Esquire, and you can check me out on Twitter and Instagram at @TheRealESQ. I love talking PUBG, guys. I love talking PEL, PELC, competitive PUBG, just PUBG in general from a, casual games perspective. But that's going to do it here for our broadcast. Guys, have a great rest of your week. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for the PEL promos kicking off live in Berlin, Germany. And maybe I'll see you guys again sometime soon. Take care.